Before I begin the review, I have a couple updates, and if you don't want to hear them, just use the timestamp in the description below. But here we go. I do have a couple updates. One, I've decided to make Alias a personal Twitch watch party and Psych to be my weekly watch party. This is because Psych is a broadly available show, while Alias isn't. What does this mean? Well, say someone from the UK wanted to join my Alias watch party on Twitch. Even though Alias is on Amazon Prime in the UK, there may be a chance that the title will still be region locked since it's not broadly available like Psych is. This actually happened to me when a watch party happened for the film Odd Thomas. It's available on Amazon Prime in the US and UK, but not broadly available, so I'll have to watch it on my own. Plus, I'd like to use Alias as my secondary series during a film binge I'm planning with a friend to get him caught up on it. It's mostly as a detox for me, but yeah, that's why I've chosen Alias for this purpose. So yeah, Alias Watch Party will be Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, with an additional round on Tuesday and Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Just have your Amazon Prime linked to your Twitch and join me starting Tuesday the 15th. Now, there might be some hiccups in certain plans, so if anything changes or a day where it happens where it's not possible, just keep tuned to here and my Discord for further information. Second update, I will be hosting a Goodbye 2020 stream on New Year's Eve on my Twitch at a special runtime from 9 p.m. Central Standard Time to midnight Central Standard Time. That's right, folks. For the first time ever for me, I will be live as the clock strikes midnight. We'll tear this year a new one, play some games, read stories, maybe sing a little, and have a good time. Hope to see you there. Enjoy the video. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, you have no idea how badly I've been waiting for this. But it's that wonderful time of the year again, where I get to do another Christmas winter game review for Red Ribbon Reviewers, promoting discussion of HIV and AIDS awareness through, well, reviews. And I get to gush over my favorite types of games, or one of my favorite types of games, sports games, like I always do. More specifically, winter sports games. There's always just a fascination for me, and it's always just connecting it with sort of the wintry scapes of these levels and these environments and all. It just brings me to a really heartwarming kind of Christmas movie. Kind of hard to explain, folks, but nostalgia is a hell of a drug, and we're going to be going back to the EA Sports big well on this one like we always do. So enjoy my review of Sled Storm. After the success of SSX Tricky, EA's EA Sports big label wanted to cement themselves in another winter sport, snowmobiling. And that brings us to today's game, Sled Storm, released exclusively on the PS2 on March 11th, 2002 for North America, and March 22nd, 2002 for Europe. Also mislabeled as Sled Storm 2 due to the fact that Sled Storm was initially a PS1 game. But I'll save that game for another day. Today, I'd like to talk about its more extreme relative. Does it stand out well? Let's take a look. Sled Storm has several modes of play to select from. Free race on unlocked courses, multiplayer, time trial, and practice modes that you've probably seen in other racing games. The main modes of play for this game are Championship Mode and Rival Challenge. Championship Mode has you go through the main 6 courses featured in the game. They start off easy and get progressively harder. You'll run through the mode to unlock new tracks, characters, and sleds. Once you beat the Championship Mode, you'll unlock Rival Challenge. This mode will let you beat your rivals in order to win their sleds. When you start the game, you'll only have 3 characters unlocked from the start, with 5 more to unlock. Much like the SSX series, these characters are designed with an extreme look and attitude. Some have different trick capabilities and riding styles, though it doesn't seem to matter too much in the long run. 2 characters from SSX actually make an appearance here as playable characters, Zoe Payne and Simon Stark. The sleds also have a cool look with good color patterns that help them stand out. The main races are circuit races similar to those of the Need for Speed series. You'll race around on a closed course for a set number of laps, usually 3. As you race around the tracks, you'll encounter various jumps like SSX, which will allow you to perform various tricks. While you do use the shoulder buttons, unlike SSX, with the exception of L2 and R2, specific tricks aren't mapped to specific buttons. It's really only combinations for the most part that are needed to pull off tricks here. You'll use the aforementioned L2 and R2 buttons in combination with the other shoulder buttons and the analog sticks up and down directions. You can also use triangle to tweak the tricks to get a different set of them, though that requires that you take your thumb off the X button which can be kind of annoying since it's accelerate X, but what are you going to do? You can also use up to 2, 3, or all 4 shoulder buttons at once for various tricks, string several tricks together in one jump for even bigger points. As you continue to do tricks, you'll not only gain points, but boost. Doing a 4 shoulder button trick will max out your boost. Repeat tricks will net you less boost and points, so mix things up to get the most out of everything. All controls work as they should for driving and tricks. Be careful though. Failure to land a trick before you hit the ground or hitting an object will lead to you crashing, which is more often than not a bigger problem than it should be due to the racing itself. While the driving and trick controls work fine, the actual handling of the sleds are very loose to say the least. No, I've never ridden a sled in real life before, but when Arctic Thunder's handling is tighter and you're supposed to be kicking the ass of that game, something has gone terribly wrong. There are times where you'll give your sled a full turn and you'll almost veer off the course. This crap makes it easier to crash, and it becomes even more difficult in the later courses as there's very little room for error. It also doesn't help that when you use the faster sleds, the handling can become even worse since those sleds are a bit more difficult to control than the earlier sleds, but they are faster, so yeah, you'll need them anyways for the later courses. Even with the practice mode to help you get used to the handling and finding shortcuts on the tracks, which are definitely helpful, it still won't stop the other major problem of the racing, the AI. For some reason, assumably to make up for SSX's less challenging gameplay, Sledstorm uses rubber banding AI. While this does make the races more neck and neck at times, it also makes things a pain more than they should be. You'll fall behind and the AI will slow down, but when you catch up, the AI does everything in their power to get the lead. Not to mention, they have a pretty good grasp of the sleds compared to you and me, and they will even use shortcuts. All this adds up to a very steep learning curve that's more based on you not screwing up. It's almost as if the game is a looser version of Freakstyle with snowmobiles. Still, with enough practice and course learning, you can go the distance. When you complete a race, if you make the necessary placement in the race, you'll move on to the next course. If you place first, depending on the course you complete, you'll get the next upgrade in your line of sleds. Finally, if you get the necessary number of points, you'll unlock a new character. There's plenty of replayability to unlock the sleds for other characters, and even more should you decide to go for the rival challenge. Get all the sleds with a specific character, and you'll get a bonus sled. Be careful not to lose, or you'll have to get your sled back in championship mode. Even though the game is a bit tough, it at least looks the part. The graphics are a step up from SSX Tricky. Models are more detailed for the characters, sleds, and the tracks as well, though the game does run at a lower frame rate because it's a step up, but the frame rate doesn't drop 99% of the time during gameplay, which is very important for a racing game. The game also embraces that extreme look that only an EA Sports big game can. From the carnival Christmas fun of Polar Fest to the intense heat of Rumble Ridge that would make Smolder blush, these courses are tough, but they definitely have a lot to admire about them. Not to mention, you can run the game in anamorphic widescreen, and it still looks pretty good. The game's sound is also pretty good. The game's music is primarily techno-oriented, and it sounds intense. They even got a couple licensed tracks in there. Overseer's Super Moves, later appearing in Need for Speed Underground, and a remixed version of Skull Splitter's Head Noise. The sound effects are also pretty good. Landing sounds as it should, especially from different angles of your sled, which you can adjust while in the air. The sleds have a strong motocross-like sound to them that amps up when you get into the later sleds, and other ambient sounds really help enhances the atmosphere and the game and the tracks. The game even has various sound options like surround and even DTS if you've got the proper setup for it. This really brings the game's sound even further to life. Voice acting itself is also good. It further enhances the extreme madness of the characters, and they all stand out like in SSX. Hell, they even got the system voice from SSX Tricky, Dot Matrix, and I can say that because that is the actual voice of Dot Matrix. Kathleen Barr doing the voice makes a return.
Welcome to the Beast from the East.
This magnificent lion sculpture is sure to provide a challenge for our racers here today.
Come here, little pussy.
She's going for the whole shot.
The two most noteworthy additions to the cast are the voice actors for the announcers. Kurt Baldwin is voiced by the late wrestling interviewer Mean Gene Okerlund of WWF/WWE and WCW fame. AJ Rollins is voiced by actor Matthew Lillard, the future voice for Shaggy. They mostly have dialogue during the pre-race track overview and after the race. The two have decent chemistry and bounce off each other well, with Kurt being the straight man to AJ's nonsense.
Things are rocking and rolling on the ring. The complexity of these ancient temples amazes me.
More complex. Try getting Alex and Tracy at the same time.
Tracy looks hot in her racing leather.
Hey, I was gonna say that.
Sledstorm is a good game, but it feels more like a looser version of what would eventually become Freakstyle. The actual driving and trick controls are good, the game looks and sounds well, it really brings that extreme edge known in EA Sports big games, and there's plenty to keep you coming back. However, the steep learning curve caused by the loose handling of the sleds and the rubber banding AI bring the game down from being an excellent game like SSX to just a pretty good one. That said, fans of EA Sports big and snowmobile games who missed out on this one should give it a go. It's a cheap game to get and there aren't a whole lot of snowmobile racing games. So why not give it a go? I give Sledstorm a 3.5 out of 5. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Festivus, Happy whatever the hell you celebrate. Happy Heartswarming Eve to my favorite film ship. Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, click the big red button below to subscribe. Check out the other links in the description for more cool stuff, and check out the playlist on screen for more content. See you in the next video.